over on the DK Sportsbook. We're checking out some season specials here, NFL specials. We're going to skip that perfect season talk. Pearce, 17-0 for the Jaguars, plus 40,000. We know you've already sprinkled a little bit on that, but let's move over to your second favorite team, the Detroit Lions. Pearce, which team will Detroit get their first win against?
They're going to out the gates with the win. I know Geoff likes the Eagles, but plus 165 to beat the Eagles the first week. They're at home. Week one's always a really volatile week. We know from playing DFS and from gambling, you never really know what to expect from teams in week one. And we almost saw the Lions come back and win last year in week one against San Francisco. They have a pretty good shot. They're at home. And again, I'm just not going to keep mentioning. I'm going to keep mentioning this all off season. The Eagles are not a good team. Yes, they made it to the playoffs, but just look at their last 5 games, try to rewind your brain, remember what was going on. They played the Giants twice. They played Washington twice. Both those teams were decimated by injuries. Before that, they played the Saints, who were also dealing with tons of injuries. They went 4-1 and snuck into the playoffs. The Eagles just aren't a good team. I'm not a believer in Jalen Hurts, and I think the Lions are on the upward swing. Remember, they almost covered. They covered games, so they were always close. We're just asking for a couple more points for them to beat the Eagles. I think they can get it.
All right, but Reid, I think you were tweeting yesterday just how impressive the Eagles have been this offseason, right?
Yeah, in terms of their moves, right? In terms of what they can get. James Bradbury joins their team. And yeah, I kind of agree with Pearce is that the volatility of week one sans Sammy Watkins being the number 1 wide receiver in DFS. So make sure you play Sammy week one. Green Bay, right? He's got Aaron Rodgers as the best quarterback of his career. So, but yeah, yes, Detroit is good. They're good against the spread, right? They were amazing against the spread last year, if we remember, but they just straight up could not win a single game. Seattle at plus 650 right now, at home in Detroit. You got Drew Lock and Geno Smith. We'll get to a quarterback that I don't trust in a little bit, even more than those two guys. But, nothing really to worry about from a secondary standpoint, right, for Seattle. Lions rush D was terrible last season, and they didn't really do much to improve it this year. So when you have Philly, I believe Cleveland and Washington, right, are the first 3 games.
Yeah.
That is a murderer's row of running backs and rush offenses. That's a little bit scary. So I'm going to go Seattle plus 650. That's in week 4.
Okay, Geoff, their first 2 games at home. It's the Eagles, it's the Commanders. Then they're on the road at Reid's Vikings.
Yeah, look, I do like the Eagles, but I fully admit, they're still going to be a fairly volatile team because Jalen Hurts does turn the ball over. If you like him or not, he will throw in those stinker games where it's 70 yards, a couple turnovers, and the Eagles just can't score. But I think those will be fewer this year. And I'm not confident enough to take them week one. I do like the Lions, though. I like them. They're not getting through the first 2 weeks without a win. I would take them week 2 against the Commanders. And I think the other way you can play it, play the spread. Play the Lions to cover the spread week 1. That spread will probably get up to plus 5, maybe plus 5.5, because the Eagles bandwagon clearly growing. They're signing players. I think a good team, but they're not a team that I necessarily – I do agree with Pearce. It's a winnable game for the Lions at home. I think the Lions are going to be a good team as well, or at least a solid team, perhaps even a 500 team, Pearce. So I'm going to take them week 2 to beat the Commanders, but maybe play them against the spread week 1 too against the Eagles. That's a good way to kind of cover yourself as well.